Hey, welcome back. Ah, never mind. Hey, welcome back. Right. I just heard the news this morning that Ben Affleck's no longer going to be Batman, and the Matt Reeves directed movie is going to be someone else. Can't say I'm surprised, but I am disappointed because I really did like Ben Affleck in the role. In Batman vs Superman, I feel like the ruined and reshot Justice League movie sort of made a bit of a clown out of him, and he was just sort of easygoing and, you know, hey, how you doing? My parents are dead. I mean, even Adam West's Batman was sort of stern. In Adam West's own words, he didn't know he was funny. That was the point. It was camp, yet brilliant, but that was the point. He didn't know he was funny, and he was always... You never really saw Batman making jokes and being humorous. He would smile, usually when he had the upper hand on a criminal, but, you know, things like that. But even George Clooney was fairly, you know, Val Kilmer, Michael Keaton in particular, and there was never a jokey, happy moment in the Nolan trilogy. So in Batman vs Superman, Affleck had it down. Like, he was a bit more of an angry, grizzled sort of absolute son than any other Batman, but you know, he had that thing. And then it was Justice League. They just sort of went, oh, he lightened up a bit. I mean, part of the reasoning behind this film's putting together of Earth's Defence Force, the actual Justice League itself, was because Superman had died. You know, they went down that route. So Superman's dead, and I mean, that is a solemn thing. And, you know, at the end of Bats vs Supes, he wasn't the happiest of fellows about the fact that he was dead. And he, like, tried to kill him and hadn't realised his humanity until the Martha moment, the controversial Martha moment. And then it was like,
that's alright, don't worry, everybody's dead, it's alright. Just get friends and smack a CGI character in the face.
You know, I don't understand. Anyway, beside the point, Ben Affleck was good in the role. Far too much was made of the sad fleck thing, and for a man like Ben Affleck, that was a little bit too much, I think. He does like to take himself rather seriously, like a lot of Hollywood actors do. So you can't really blame him for that, or single him out for that matter. Despite what everybody thinks about, you know, BVS, whether it's the extended cut of it or the theatrical release, I still really liked it. I liked the bleak tone, and like, even though Zack Snyder was a man on a mission to like deconstruct every superhero ever made by mankind, the bleak tone that it took followed very many of the Batman comics in particular. Even some of the 90s run of Superman had that bleak tone. That's where the death of Superman came from, and then the subsequent, like, all the different Supermans coming out of nowhere and being cloned and what have you, and then ultimately an underpowered Superman having to come back and save the day, as it were. And when Superman came back and, took everything down and became Superman again, the bleak tone still ran on a little bit as well, so he wasn't too far from the source material that he was taking from. And obviously The Dark Knight Returns was a massive influence, which I think everybody secretly wanted Batman vs Superman to be, but it was more a pulling in of all of those bleak comic books and making a movie out of it. And it was a bleak movie. There wasn't exactly a happy ending when you kill off Superman, is there? You know, but I liked it. Then again, I am the man that defended Alien 3, and that is a bleak movie as well. I think I just like my entertainment to be really bleak. Is my real life too happy? I'm gutted that Ben Affleck's not going to be Batman anymore. I'm sure they'll cast someone. I never look into that, because when someone is inevitably cast, the whole internet will explode, as it always does. Before the internet was a thing, Michael Keaton was widely blasted by the Batman fan base for, being considered for the role. It just didn't, no one could see that dude that was Beetlejuice could be Batman, or pull off the same thing. But he did. Everyone was sceptical of Val Kilmer, but he pulled it off. Everyone was sceptical of Clooney. They were probably right. But then Christian Bale, when I heard about that, I'd only just finished rewatching for the 7,000th time American Psycho. So I was very confident that Bale was probably a good choice, and ultimately history proves that. When Ben Affleck was cast off the back of the Nolan trilogy, people went insane. That was, again, the internet was broken because of that. So I don't get into that, because again, one of the first things that I can agree that everyone agrees with is that Ben Affleck made a hell of a good Batman in what wasn't a very good superhero movie in most people's opinion. So now we're in this weird place, because BVS wasn't what Warner wanted, which was Captain America's first Avenger type setting up the world scenario, and it wasn't an Avengers movie, and it wasn't a Marvel movie in general. And they realised that, oh, wait a minute, Snyder's actually trying to deconstruct the superhero idea and make it into something else, and we've just put him in charge of our entire friggin' franchise. They understandably got a little bit, freaked out about the whole situation and revamped everything, and they were hoping that Suicide Squad would be the happy movie everybody wanted, and it wasn't. On the surface level, it was exactly what it should have been. It should have ticked all the boxes, but you didn't have to look too far to see the flaws in that one. Wonder Woman, however, did incredibly well, and is probably the best in most people's opinion, and the second best film, in my opinion, for all the DC movies so far. It's Batman vs Superman, and right underneath it is Wonder Woman. See, I really enjoyed Wonder Woman. I thought it was brilliant. What followed? I think actually the next film to come out was Justice League, and they sort of turned Wonder Woman into a kind of figure. Like any cheesy 80s American sitcom, they always have that moment where something happens and everything's fine. That thing, that's what Wonder Woman was in that film. And I don't know, just the whole thing. I really enjoyed how they made Superman what Superman should have been in the other two films, really. He was more optimistic, more sort of that wholesome dude. But, I enjoyed Justice League. First time watching it, I really enjoyed it because I went along for the ride. Second time or third time watching it, I think I've watched it 3 times. All the glaring in-your-face problems with it came out. The visual effects that were clearly not given enough time to render. The dodgy lip removal. Batman's ever-fluctuating weight over the reshoots to the original footage, to being happy and hardy-ha, let's have a joke 1 minute, and then, just completely silent the next. Barry Allen was good. Cyborg was good, yet underdeveloped. I think that's a general complaint most people had at the time. And the villain was meh. So, it is what it is. That, again, not doing the numbers that Warner Brothers wanted has forced another shake-up. They've fired people, they've hired people, they're in utter chaos over it all. There's another Wonder Woman in the works with all the same people involved. Hopefully they don't just run with it as if we can do nothing wrong, and they actually try really hard to make a good, solid, standalone movie. That is my only problem with the DC Universe movies, is that they tried to run before they walked. I don't understand why, if they were trying to follow what Marvel did, they didn't do exactly what Marvel did. And that's what they're doing now. They're doing Shazam. They've done Wonder Woman. They've done Aquaman now. They're doing the individual films that should have set up the ensemble. They should have done another Green Lantern. They should have done Shazam. They should have done the A Flash movie. They probably wouldn't have had to do a Batman movie, but they've done Man of Steel. So those two are done. Obviously, all the rest of them that I've already mentioned. And then do your Justice League. Then do your Avengers movie. Which is exactly what Marvel did. They took characters that weren't exactly in the popular zeitgeist, such as Spider-Man or Batman or, you know, any of the big sort of 3-4 characters from either side. And made really good standalone movies for them and then shoved them all in a movie together. Done. Why on earth was that not the plan? I mean, they got Man of Steel out the way, a revamp of Superman. They did Batman vs Superman. Okay. They've brought the Batman and the Superman head to head, whether you liked it or not, whatever. Then go off and do your Wonder Woman. Then do your Flash. Then do your Aquaman. Then do all the people that you were going to put in that original Justice League movie that's just gone. You do the films first. You introduce the characters to the general population. Then you throw an ensemble movie at them. I'm not the only one that figured that out. Surely. I don't know. I mean, we live in a world where it took nearly a decade for them to realise that a Deadpool movie was a good idea. Also, studio meddling and manipulation and fucking with everything. It just needs to, you know, I get it, you're investing a ton of money into these films, but you just need to, like, you know, back off it a little bit. If you're hiring somebody to do a job, let them do that job. That's all I have to say about that. I'm sure I've ranted about studio manipulation and sticking the noses in through other videos, such as Alien 3 and, you know, any other DC movie project I've talked about. Anyway, how do you feel about it? Because I know I'm excited for the next Wonder Woman. I haven't yet seen the Aquaman film, and I will as soon as I possibly can. I'm excited for the next Suicide Squad movie if that comes off well, because James Gunn's been hired for that, to write it and direct it. Warner Brothers are sat there going, please, Guardians of the Galaxy, the shit out of this. Please, Guardians it, please. I don't know if they'll do exactly that, and I don't know if there's going to be like studio meddling of the thing. Could one of them possibly listen to cool sort of disco and 80s movie music, possibly on a tape recorder that he has on his belt and little old headphones, you know, like, oh, Guardians did that, oh, well, we didn't realise, but, you know, something like that would work. Yeah, again, let him get on with it. I'm sure he's got original ideas, so I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with that. The Batman movie, again, the point of this video, the Batman movie, I'm excited to see what they do with it. I really hope it's a good standalone movie, and as well as the possibility later of bringing them all together again. I'm really gutted that Henry Cavill's no longer in the role as well. Apparently he's not. I don't know if I've heard that wrong, because it was a bit of a meme for a while and sort of misinformation floating around, but apparently that's the case now. He's not doing it, because, again, he made a really good Superman. Every single film that he was in, whether it was good or bad, there was always you could always see the potential of an amazing Superman with him. Even though he has really short arms. Have you noticed that? It's really weird. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. In particular, if you've got here to the end, let me know what you think about the things. Again, I'm really optimistic, like I always am, about these things. I think they're going to come off. I think they'll do well. Again, if people are left to make the films properly for them. But let me know what you think. Thanks again for watching. I'll catch you soon with my cosplay video that's still taking a long time to finish, but hopefully soon. Cheers. Bell.